In business, trust is everything, and right now that trust is taking a hit with questions on how public funds are being spent and how projects are getting awarded. But what if transparency itself could be built into the system? That's what blockchain promises. It's not just a tech buzzword, and it's being used as a real tool to make government spending traceable, verifiable, and tamper-proof. Leading that push is BayaniChain, a homegrown tech company founded by Paul Soliman. He joins us now to talk about how blockchain can bring back trust in the government and why transparency may be the country's strongest form of infrastructure. Hi, Paul. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you, Ms. Mikey. Glad to be here.
Okay, Paul, corruption. They say it's one of the biggest taxes on business in the Philippines. How can technologies like blockchain help not just limit corruption, and not just trace it after the fact, but actually prevent it from happening in the very first place?
Sure. Like what I always say, like no technology is really a silver bullet to eradicate or simply remove corruption, because that's a human issue. But using blockchain and AI in combination of that, public accountability will be a gold standard, because whenever they use this public funds, or let's say the government put it on the blockchain already, the old saying says, touch, move. You can't already edit it or remove it. Then later on, AI and ordinary Filipino watchdogs can really investigate without any censorship from the government.
Yeah, okay. Let's just give the viewers a sense of what blockchain actually is. It's just put in simple terms, it's like a notebook, a shared notebook, where you see every item inputted and outputted. Maybe you can expound on this further.
Sure. So it's a notebook. Yeah, it's a ledger. So whatever you put it there, in accounting terms, it has a debit, credit, right? Whatever is a debit, and it's always a combination of both. And the good thing about that, it's your notebook will be distributed to all people in the world.
Yeah, millions all around the world.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a lot of information, but we have the tech now to mine all of that. What if the wrong data is entered? I mean, trust, accountability. A blockchain has accountability by design. So talk to us about what if the wrong data is inputted into the system.
Sure.
What next?
If any corrupted or wrong data was inputted into the system, because blockchain is an append-only system, meaning it will not allow you to edit or delete. So you need to have an amendment, if I may use that term. Mm-hmm. So technically, the original wrong data or corrupted data will stay there. Mm-hmm. But the amended data will also be there. So technically, like document 1 will have 2 different records and document that will be seen by the people.
Yeah, and everybody. That's the important part, yep. The visibility, seen by the people. Critics say that technology changes so fast that the government should avoid making blockchain mandatory because something new, something better could come up. As technology does change, how do we make it tech neutral but open?
Sure. Yes, when we craft a law for that, the government needs to always, provide some sort of provision on doing an open source system. This might, prevent using a lock-in technology. Because at the end of the day, if government is committed to really doing transparency and all of this future-proofing, the source code should be open source. So anyone can collaborate and also improve the system of the government.
Yeah, very interesting what you're doing. And what's interesting is your background also, Paul. 17 years in the business application industry. You were the first Filipino Microsoft MVP for business applications, and you're the first regional director, first in the Philippines. AI was kind of like in your DNA early on in life. Tell us, you've worked with the Department of Budget and Management. You built blockchain for them that just went live in July of 2025. That was 2 years in the making. What were the pain points that the DBM wanted to solve, and how did you guys solve them with blockchain?
Sure. I mean, at every implementation, it's really people, process, and technology, right? 10% is just technology, but 90% of the risk and challenges are people and process, right? So that's the reason why DBM carefully crafted first the policy on what to put in on the blockchain or not, because there are private information that you cannot really disclose on the public, but you also want DBM also wants a backup or a redundancy of the current public information that they have on the internet. Let's say, for example, the DBM website is down because now they have Saros and NCA in the blockchain. People can look at the blockchain level that, in a way, 99% has an uptime. So that particular challenge of always staying up is really being resolved by blockchain now.
Mm-hmm. So right now, as the Philippines faces a tsunami of corruption allegations, how do you think blockchain can help us?
It will really make us accountable, or public official accountable, because we saw a lot of news about tampering evidences in the DPWH level, the paper level. Imagine that, like they're putting peanut butters on this paper.
That's right. That's right. There's a lot of resistance to technology because people want to revert to the manual system. There's some people that want to keep it at the manual system. How does blockchain help limit that or cut that?
Sure. So imagine that the blockchain is in place from the very beginning. Like the normal databases of the government integrates on the blockchain seamlessly. So even though they try to corrupt the data or try to edit that,
many more will see
yes
that mistake.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. Beyond government applications, how are businesses using blockchain?
Sure. We're exploring a lot in supply chain industry, because if you will see supply chain, you need to track where it was manufactured. Like, are they violating any issue with labor, etc. So the serial number of the manufactured or expiring goods up to the level of first mile delivery. Mm-hmm. And businesses that is included in the consortium or that supply chain can easily reconcile information if they have blockchain on their system.
So you're really harnessing and consolidating all of that information, and you can do it for any industry.
Yeah.
Going back to the government, the DICT is in talks with a Dubai-based blockchain firm, Polygon, for a $5 to $10 million grant to pilot a national blockchain budget system. The system, of course, won't hold government funds, but it's going to record budget release as a permanent, verifiable entry for public spending. How significant could this be?
Well, number one, it's no cost to the government. That's why we need to be very happy with that. I also read the article that it's no vendor lock-in. And the ICT and Polygon is aiming for multi-chain approach. So meaning, in terms of censorship resistance, what will happen is we put the public budget documents in a lot of blockchains. So technically, it would really make the Philippines open, especially the budget. And foreign investor will see that we're changing, and we're also open to have open data on the internet.
Yeah, that would show foreign investors that the Philippines is serious about accountability. There are at the government level, there are countries, the United States, the United Kingdom, Estonia was a pioneer in this. Country level examples. What's your message to both the people in the government and the private sector about why we must use and embrace this technology?
Sure. So at the end of the day, I think people had seen enough, right? In my opinion, and we saw in a lot of research that they don't trust anymore, centralized authority to handle data, to handle these documents, etc. So it's really a high time for the government to reconsider working with private industry to have a transparency system. We can call it national ledger system, where anybody, any citizen from the world can see how transparent we are in terms of budget, projects, line item, the quantities of, or the location of the flood control project.
Yeah.
We need to be very transparent of that. And I think public and private partnership will really help a lot.
Yeah, the work that you do is very interesting. It's also interesting to see what it can do for the country. Thank you so much, Paul Soliman, the Chairman and CEO of BayaniChain Ventures.
Thank you.